All right, so, fantasy fans, are you ready to dive back into the world of the Wheel of Time? Because Season 3, ooh boy, it is a wild ride.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And, it seems like everybody's craving a little bit of escape these days, and the Wheel of Time, ooh, it delivers that in spades, doesn't it?
It really does. All the reviews you guys send in, there's a lot of talk about battles, betrayals, maybe even a little romance. We've got a lot to unpack.
It's true. Plus, House of the Dragon, all those romantasy novels, fantasy, it is having a moment right now.
It really is. But for today's deep dive, we're focusing on the Wheel of Time. So
Right into it?
let's get right into it. Okay, so Season 3 picks up right where Season 2 left off, with Rand al'Thor declaring himself as the Dragon Reborn. Now, for those of you who might be new to the series, the Dragon Reborn, well, he's kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal, yeah. I mean, we're talking about the Chosen One here, the one who's prophesied to either save the world from the Dark One or, break it in the process. Huge responsibility.
Let's talk about pressure. So we find our characters reunited in Tarvalon, the heart of Aes Sedai power. But they're not exactly, skipping through fields of flowers.
Not quite. No. They're carrying some serious baggage from Season 2.
Yeah. It's like they all went through a war zone and they're still dealing with the trauma. Like Egwene, for example, she is plagued by nightmares from her time as a captive of the Shan-Shan.
Oh, yeah. That's some serious PTSD. And it really affects her relationships. She pushes everyone away, even Nynaeve. She buries herself in her studies. It's like she's desperately trying to find some control in a world that suddenly feels so chaotic.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then there's Nynaeve, who, after everything she went through, is suddenly blocked from accessing the One Power. That's got to be devastating.
Oh, it is. It really is. You see, for Nynaeve, the One Power isn't just magic. It's more than that. It's part of her identity. Her connection to the world, it's like a life force. And being cut off from that, it sends her into a tailspin.
Absolutely. I can only imagine. And it's not just the women who are struggling to cope. Matt, he's still dealing with those weird side effects from blowing the Horn of Valere.
Oh, yeah, Matt. Always the wild card, right? It's like he brought a whole set of problems back with him from the Tower of Genji.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And then there's Perrin, who just wants to go home to the Two Rivers. He wants to pretend none of this is happening. Can you blame him?
I mean, who wouldn't want to escape from all this craziness, right?
Seriously. And Rand, well, imagine suddenly realizing that you might be the most powerful being in existence and that you're destined to fight this world-ending battle. Talk about a burden.
That's a heavy load to bear, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, each of these characters, they're all dealing with extraordinary circumstances. It's studying resilience, really, How do you navigate a world that's been turned upside down while trying to stay true to yourself?
It's a huge question, isn't it? And then you've got the last battle looming on the horizon. Rand knows it's coming, and he needs to secure an alliance with the White Tower, but, well, that's easier said than done.
Yeah, the Aes Sedai, they're notorious for their internal power struggles.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you've got those pesky dark friends lurking among them.
Yeah, dark friends, those who have sworn allegiance to the Dark One. So yeah, there's a lot of paranoia and mistrust going around. It's hard to know who to trust.
Absolutely. And then to make things even more complicated, you've got the Aiel entering the picture.
Aiel, yeah. This nomadic warrior culture, and they have their own unique view on channeling, and let me tell you, it throws a huge wrench into the Aes Sedai's worldview.
Oh, yeah. The Aes Sedai are not used to having their authority challenged, especially not by a bunch of spear-wielding desert dwellers.
Right. And the Aiel, especially the wise ones, they don't hesitate to call out the Aes Sedai on their, well, let's call it their cultural arrogance.
It's a really interesting dynamic, actually.
Yeah.
You've got these two powerful groups, both with their own unique ways of wielding power. It forces everyone to confront the idea that maybe, just maybe, there's more than one way to do things.
It's a powerful message, especially in today's world. So we've got our heroes battling trauma, a looming apocalypse, political scheming, and now cultural clashes. It sounds like the writers really threw everything but the kitchen sink into this season.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
And to be honest, some of the reviews you sent in did mention that the pacing felt a little, rushed in places.
Yeah, I can see that. It's like trying to cram an entire ocean into like a teacup. There's just so much happening.
Yeah, it is a challenge when you're adapting a series as dense and intricate as The Wheel of Time. You have to make some tough choices about what to keep, what to condense, what to maybe leave out altogether.
Absolutely. But even with the pacing issues, there are some truly amazing moments this season. I mean, Take Rand's sequence in episode 4, for instance,
Hmm.
where he confronts the Dark One in the heart of Sheol Ghul.
Chilling, wasn't it?
Ah, so chilling. And the way they brought that internal struggle to life visually, wow. Just wow.
The special effects this season, I have to say, they really upped their game.
Oh, yeah. And then you've got Perrin's return to the Two Rivers. Oh, so emotional. Talk about a guy caught between a rock and a hard place.
It's that sense of responsibility,
Yeah.
to his people, to his family, and at the same time, he's battling his own inner demons. That whole storyline, so powerful.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about Moiraine and Sion. They face so much adversity, yet their love for each other, it just shines through. I mean, it's a beautiful reminder that even in the darkest of times, love can endure.
It really is. It gives you hope.
It does. And speaking of shining, the acting this season, give these actors all the awards.
I agree, totally. They bring such depth and nuance to these characters. You really feel their pain, their joy, their struggles.
Absolutely. Like Rosamund Pike as Moiraine. Amazing. And Daniel Henney as Lan, Zoe Robbins as Nynaeve. Phenomenal.
They make you believe it every single moment. It's immersive.
It really is. And then, of
Yeah.
course, there's the musical episode.
Oh, yeah. That was a surprise.
Right. Total curveball. Such a fun, lighthearted break from all the, doom and gloom.
I think the fans needed that.
Oh, for sure. A little reminder that even in the midst of all this darkness, there's still room for a little joy. But speaking of darkness, let's talk villains, shall we?
Oh, yeah, this season. It's got villains for days.
Huh.
Leandrin, Lanfear, Eleida, they are not messing around.
Nope. Not at all. They're all power hungry, but their methods, they're so different. It makes them all the more terrifying.
It does. You never know what they're going to do next. Like Leandrin, for example. She is ruthless.
Oh, yeah. Utterly ruthless. She will step on anyone to get what she wants. It's chilling.
It is. But for me, I find Lanfear almost scarier. She's a master manipulator.
Oh, yeah. It's all whispers and shadows with her. She's playing the long game.
Exactly. And she's so good at it.
Yeah.
She understands people's weaknesses, their desires, and she uses them against them.
Ugh, she gives me the creeps. And then there's Mohedian, with that soft voice and those piercing eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, she is nightmare fuel.
She's so unnerving. Like, you never know what she's thinking. It's like she can see right through you.
She's the kind of villain that can lull you into a false sense of security before striking.
Absolutely. Never underestimate the quiet ones.
Right. Good advice. And, this season really dives into some heavy themes, too, like fate versus free will, the burdens of knowledge. It really makes you think.
It does. It's like, how much control do we really have over our lives? Are we just puppets dancing on the strings of destiny? Or can we actually change our fate?
It's a question that's been debated for centuries, really. And the Wheel of Time, it brings it front and center. The characters are constantly wrestling with this knowledge of prophecies, of possible futures. It's like, if you could see glimpses of what might be, would you even want to?
That's the question, isn't it? Is ignorance bliss? Or is knowledge power?
It's such a tough question because on the one hand, knowing the future could give you a sense of control, a chance to prepare. But on the other hand, it could also rob you of the joy of discovery, the excitement of the unknown.
And you might even make choices that actually bring about the very fate you're trying to avoid.
Exactly. It's a double-edged sword. And the show doesn't shy away from that complexity. It embraces it.
It does, and that's what makes it so compelling. It's not just a fantasy epic, it's a story about us, about the human condition.
Yeah.
It's about choice, responsibility, and the search for meaning in a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable.
Absolutely. So, okay, we've talked about the highs, the lows, the triumphs, the struggles, the amazing acting, the thought-provoking themes. Big question now, what's the overall verdict?
Well, based on the reviews you guys sent in, it seems like most people are loving this season. They praise the strong performances, the stunning visuals, the captivating story. But of course, there's the issue of the pacing. Did it detract from the overall experience?
I think it depends, honestly. Some viewers, they might find the condensed storylines a bit frustrating, like they wanted more. But others, they might actually appreciate that the show is keeping things moving.
Yeah, it's all about personal preference, I guess. But, at the end of the day, Season 3 of The Wheel of Time, it really packs a punch. It's got everything you could want from a fantasy epic, It's got ambition, it makes you think, it looks absolutely stunning. Plus, it leaves you with like a million questions swirling around in your head long after you've finished watching.
Oh, for sure it does. And the world, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. The characters are facing these huge moral dilemmas. The stakes are higher than ever. It's clear that the writers are setting us up for something massive in the seasons to come. So what does all this mean for you, dear listener? Well, if you're looking for a fantasy experience that's going to pull you in, make you think, make you feel things, well, The Wheel of Time is definitely worth checking out. Even if you've never read the books, the show does a fantastic job of bringing this rich, intricate world to life.
Absolutely. And as you're watching, as you're going on this journey with these characters, think about this. If you could see glimpses of your own possible futures, would you even want to?
Yeah.
What are the potential benefits, but also the dangers of that kind of knowledge?
Yeah.
It's something that these characters are constantly grappling with. And it's a question that I think speaks to something really deep in the human experience.
It really does. It makes you question, the choices we make, the paths we take, the forces that shape our lives. And it reminds us that even in a world full of magic and prophecies, it's our choices that ultimately define who we become.
That's a beautiful thought, actually. In a way, the Wheel of Time, it uses fantasy as this kind of mirror to reflect our own hopes, our fears, and this internal struggle to find meaning in a world that, let's face it, often feels very chaotic and unpredictable.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, that just about wraps up our deep dive into Season 3 of The Wheel of Time. We covered a lot of ground, everything from trauma and destiny to political intrigue and cultural clashes. And honestly, we've only just scratched the surface of this incredibly complex and fascinating world.
Oh, absolutely. There's always more to discover in the world of the Wheel of Time. Always. It's a journey of discovery for the characters, but also for us as viewers.
Couldn't agree more. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. We'll be back soon with another fascinating topic to explore. Until then, may you always find your way back to the light.